Today we're bringing you a special edition. With me today is Chango from San Jose. Northern Structure at one time, right?
Yes.
Northern Structure became a bona fide NF member, rubbed elbows with all the highly placed guys in the NF in his time frame. Many of them who are somebody today. You know, you got Villanueva, Skip,
Villanueva. As far as brass from the Feds, you have Skip, Villanueva, Corny Tristian, and you also have Pique Hernandez.
Right. In the state?
In the state, you had, I dealt with all of them directly. You had James Perez, Conejo, DC, and also Chuco Gillen.
So these are all guys from pretty much from the 90s.
Yeah, well, these dudes actually a couple of them were from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
But you interacted with them.
Yes, I interacted. Within the pod with them. You had at the time, Skip wasn't. He was just a captain, but you had Tibbs Morado, and he ended up being brass, and he was one of my sponsors.
Right.
That got me into the mob.
So you were born and raised donde? Where?
In San Jose, California. Growing up, I started tagging. Made myself a name, in the graffiti world, and ended up, eventually, coming from a big neighborhood, the Horseshoe, VHS, West Side, and started gangbanging. At the same time, started getting a name for myself, started moving up, as a norteño, and trying to understand, navigate things as far as what a norteño was. At the time, didn't hang around with really NF members. NF was like a secret society, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. Had the NR, which was the Raza. The administration at the time called it the Northern Structure.
So this was all street dynamics you're talking about.
Yes, I am. You know what I mean? And so you hear things, and even the NR, the Nuestra Raza was like also, when I talked earlier today about things, it was like to be an NR member, you're proud, it was something special, and so I went, I haven't gone to prison yet, and being around certain individuals, but it wasn't really expressed to me like to be an NR member, just being the norteños, getting the fundamentals, getting the schooling, and when I hit the county jail, mm-hmm. and that's when it was like,
Santa Clara
County Jail, man.
Would you consider that in the Northern California, when you were living out there, and you were in this world, would you consider Santa Clara County like the number one or the biggest county with norteños in Northern Cal?
Yes, I believe it was two counties, Monterey County and Santa Clara County. Mm-hmm. Santa Clara County is San Jose,
right?
San Jose,
right?
Monterey County, Salinas.
Yes.
And where this is like they breed them. I mean, it's nothing but schooling. It's like it's doctrinated, just like they're just pushing and pushing. Whether it's how like I said earlier about conducting yourself, what the dynamics of being a norteño, the seven fundamentals on how you do things as far as weaponry, education, law, legal issue, and how to hit your enemy or target, I guess you would say.
Sure.
Just so many things, and they're just levels. If you didn't know English, you're gonna learn. If you didn't know Spanish, you're gonna learn Spanish, and if you didn't know Spanish, then Nahua, which is the Aztec, Maya language. There's just so many things.
Was that required for you to learn Nahua?
No, it wasn't required.
Yeah.
It wasn't required, but just myself, I'm bilingual.
Right.
So I ain't got nothing else to do. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So I'm getting myself, building my resume.
Because you know the EME had a similar thing going on. In fact, I remember back in my time frame in the 70s, you had members that adopted these Toltec and Nahuatl names, Aztec names, you know, all these gods and this and that. And then I've learned through the years after I defected from the EME, meeting a lot of Nuestra Familia members, people from other prison gangs, but especially NF, because you're a former NF member, that you guys did the same thing.
Yes.
And it was wrapped around the warrior mentality and the culture.
Yes.
Right, as a way of recognizing and now.
We used to say the warrior within, you know, the northern warrior, you
Yes.
know. And for me, my name was Osomali, which means Chango.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
And they ended up, you know, not everybody knew about this.
Right.
You know, the homies or the brothers. But I wasn't even a carnal yet at the time, you know what I mean? I was still moving up as far as, you know what I mean? So it just stuck. But that was not publicized, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I ended up, you know, years later, you know, going to Pelican Bay and getting more, you know, schooling and to understand, you know, the Constitution and, you know, the street, you know, the functions on what it was as far as Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, and, you know, having the fellas having different levels of education. So I thrived. This is what I wanted to do. I was very like impressed, you know, and
well, you know, in my time frame, going back, and I'm going to segue into something on your time frame, because we're almost talking apples and oranges as far as time frame, younger guys and the ideologies that the EME and the NF adopted. But it was basically the same, because, you know, evil is evil, no matter how you look at it. And we were talking off camera about the California mentality, how it's different. When people in other states attempt to emulate norteños or sureños, NF or EME, it's a different flavor, because they're emulating. They're not part of the gang culture growing up. So now, in the 70s, I was, just before I became a Mexican Mafia member, I remember agitating on the yard, and I adopted a derisive term for the NF. I started, Leo from Ochentas and myself started referring to them as Northern Farmers, NF. It's propaganda, and it was also a way of digging at them. Because Northern California guys were mostly from rural areas, Gilroy, Woodlake, a lot of areas like that were rural. So we used it strictly as a anti-derisive propaganda tool, and later we shortened it to farmeros in Spanish, farmers. Yeah, you effing farmers, and blah, blah, blah. But you know, nothing could be further. Anybody that really knows San Francisco, as city as it gets, San Jose, city boys. To me, when I remember the guys from San Jose, they were like LA guys. The way that they comported themselves, their style, their estilo, and everything, they were just like LA guys. But they were in San Jose. So there was a lot of city guys that grew up with that sentiment, even in my time frame. Of course, fast forwarding to your time frame, you guys had the city in you already.
yeah, well, for myself, I mean, I even pushed the line as far as, you know, a lot of homeboys coming from CYA, you know, and even myself, I got it on me tattooed, City Life.
Right.
You know, so,
yeah,
you know, lights, action, camera, you know, and just because, as far as for myself, I looked at it this way. I can't speak for a lot of other people from other cities, but for myself, San Jose is, at the time, other than Los Angeles, that's where everything came from.
Right.
Just like my neighborhood,
Right.
in Horseshoe. It came from Los Angeles. And, you know, that's probably another segment, but as far as having the mentality, like you said, Frisco, Oakland, Sacramento,
Right.
you know, we're not talking about Vallejo, not saying anything about these other cities, you know, these other little towns.
Sure.
You know, we're talking about the big cities, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so when I looked at things as far as, hey, I'm not saying Los Angeles, but Los Angeles, when you do the math, Los Angeles, San Jose.
Of course.
I mean, and we can go about the lowrider scene and all that. Everybody, the car shows and so forth. Just Los Angeles, San Jose.
Same
so
thing.
you know,
Same thing. The caliber. See, the caliber of Mexicanos, gang members, in the gang world. That the caliber was the same, whether it's like you say, Los Angeles, San Jose, San Diego. Right. Even Stockton. I think Stockton.
Yeah. You know, you can say that.
Right.
And then and then not saying because we're talking about two different things. So don't get it twisted. Right. As far as you could talk about. Well, we're talking about metropolitan cities. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like going to another state, Chicago, New York.
Yes.
But back to this, Salinas. You get a lot of big homies, even though the indoctrination, the thinking of, the NF or the Mexican Mafia, you hear things, but Salinas not a big city.
No.
Though
Salad bowl.
A lot of people come from there.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like really embedded. It's like you're already knowing what NF is. You already know what the M is. You're getting schooled in school like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're drinking straight from the bottle. Straight from the chichi.
Right.
And so
you had the street indoctrination, norteño. In the south, of course, you had sureño. So you had both of these complete polar opposites going on in the Mexican community. The one thing I always talk about with regard to gang members, and especially in California, when it comes to our guys, I mean La Raza, Mexicans killing Mexicans. And, and I hear people playing that victim card all the time. Oh, we're oppressed by the big white government that wants to, blah, blah, blah. If we're so caught up with La Raza, why are Mexicans killing Mexicans all the time? Why are blacks killing blacks more by far than any other ethnic group killing them, And when you were growing up, did you ever think about that you were killing or attacking, or you had rivalries, I'm assuming, right, with other gangs?
Yes, like in my era, the North and South, it was in prison, on the street. It was just, it wasn't even that. I got caught up. I caught the end of it. For me, Sureños wasn't like that is now in these big cities. I mean, the Sureños but no. As far as we were gangbanging on other neighborhoods,
right?
From the east side, the west, and it was.
So you did have that going on.
Yeah, we had gangbanging, but we're say for example, we had a club called Studio 47. And everybody's going. They have for teenagers, for 21 under and then older. And it wasn't even. It's like, okay, the homeboys from the east side, all that area, Even though there was the politics from prison, you had norteño, but an issue would happen because another woman for a girl. Maybe the homeboy was messing with, from the east side and coming from the west side. Just for an example. And a beef would happen. So the next thing let's get off on them.
Yeah.
And I'm just using an example. Sure. And I'm not just saying anything about a woman or anything like that. Yeah. Just these are the things that I witnessed that happened to me. And just like you said, the raza.
Right.
We are banging on each other. You know what I mean? It's like
So you didn't give that a lot of thought. You just acted because these were rivals. That's it.
Exactly.
It was gang dynamics.
Exactly. Gang
So what year did you enter the Department of Corrections, and then what year did you ultimately join a prison gang?
Well, I was already getting groomed a little bit before I went to prison, but I went to prison in '89, and I was already on the streets with certain NR members, but it was brought to my attention. I understood it, but it wasn't talked about, at least from my era. And when I got into the county jail, then that's when the schooling started.
Clara.
Santa Clara County Jail.
What year did you ultimately get into the NF?
Right. Well, the NF came years later in '94.
Who was your sponsor?
Tibbs.
Morado?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Wow.
And DC, Davis Cervantes. Yes.
Wow, he's from Chino, I think.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, that's another phenomena now. There's not that many Southern California NF guys left, but he was one of them, or he is one.
Yeah, at the time for my era, there wasn't that many NF members. You had DC, and then you had Cucamonga, Pinky Hernandez.
Tex?
No, Tex.
No?
Tex Hernandez was from Salinas.
How about Cuete?
Cuete, Rubacalba, he was from Visalia.
How about your buddy Skip?
Skip was from my city, San Jose,
So a lot of Sanjoneros.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of, people from San Jose, man. I mean, that you had a lot of carnales, you know what I mean?
But let's get to the meat and potatoes we've talked off camera, so we already know where we're going with this. So you ended up at some point getting in trouble. Internal politics that you were not unaware of. You were not aware of
Right.
this politics.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, Skip Villanueva started campaigning on me, and he's a politicker, and his whole issue is over because of women. When he got, he was already, when he got his rank, he was a captain, and he got indicted, and I was an NR member, and through the years, I mean, I'm out here, and I'm shaking and baking. I'm not stepping on no one's toes. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm not playing the victim role or anything like that. It is what it is. So through the years, I thought everything was cool. I'm functioning. I'm an NF member. He knows it. Not everybody knew I was an NF member because I was kind of like undercover, like they would say.
Yeah.
People don't understand when you watch all these, now everything's out there now, so there's no reason to get into what is undercover. But when I got pulled, I was supposed to just blend in, being on the streets, and I had to just report to certain people directly. That was it. So anyhow, through the years, I'm functioning, and in '97, I finally got exposed. It's not a bad thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I believe, my problems really started because I went under the radar because I'm thinking about the administration, and this is what I was brought to mind, because I am labeled as a NR member, Nuestra Raza, or Northern Structure, you want to call it. So, so at the time, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's individuals as far as, DB, Dancing Bear, Chico. There's a lot of homeboys from Salinas, San Jose, everywhere. I'm dealing with a lot of people, man. And I'm in the mix deeply with this. And this is before Operation Black Widow. And so I was talking to, someone about this. And, there was just so many issues coming up as far as for me when I look back. And the main thing was when they tried to assassinate me. But before that, there was issues going on with DB, with Skip. Everything was Skip in the middle of every situation.
Common denominator.
Yeah, exactly, of all the other canales behind the scenes, because there's a lot of politicking, you know, and there's a lot of things going on. I mean, you'll hear about the NF, dilemmas and, you know, in Pelican Bay, issue with this person and this person, and there's inner beefs with each other.
Right.
You know, they forgot about what they wrote, you know, which is the Constitution, because you can never go wrong with that. But like, I think you and I talked about, like you said, off camera, you know, no one ever reads the fine print.
Fine print.
You know.
And rules are made to be broken. And they do it all the time. You have the regla. NF's rules are almost a mirror image of Mexican Mafia rules. I looked at the Mexican Mafia rules, you know, talking to you, we're looking at the Nuestra Familia rules, almost identical as you go down the line. And the crazy part about it, even with you guys, and you can confirm it, you know, I don't have to tell you, you know, they made the rules, they can break them, they can interpret them any way they want at the end of the day, and they're breaking them all the time. And yours was a case, an ultimate case of breaking the rules. Skip was the one that kicked it off. But now, for the audience, I'm going to fast forward to the night or the day that they took you for the ride.
Yeah, Skip. Well, first of all, his goons. You know, Chuco Guillen, yeah, Antonio, and then Goose Garcia.
Both from San Jose.
Yeah, both from San Jose, and you know, under Skip's regime at the time, you know, and those were the two go guys right there. And so, though I dealt with them, we're communicating, you know, functioning, and Chuco calls me and tells me, hey, you know, let's go and, you know, take care of something, you know. So, and when he's talking about taking care of something, he wanted to know about Lucky Mendoza, you know, George Mendoza at the time. Now, mind you, not to sidetrack, but I think this is a key element, you know, as far as when they're talking about George Mendoza, which is Lucky, he has married a woman named Mommy. Now, Mommy, you know, they had a kid together. I was there at their wedding. Mommy used to be married to Pony Boy from San Jose. Now, Pony Boy is Skip's right-hand man. I mean, that's his dog. They had got it indicted in the first indictment in 91. So at the time, he's still pushing an agenda behind the scenes. There's no green light. There's no anything. No, nothing. He hasn't done. And I'm not sitting there trying to co-sign, or not co-sign, excuse me, saying there was nothing going on with him. So this is why I have to bring this up as far as my situation, because Skip has the tendency of just always having his cape on super tight and, you know, thinking he's trying to save everybody, but he's undermining, you know, for personal vendettas. So anyhow, on my part,
he wanted to be the man.
Yes, but there's no reason for it, because there's nothing going on. So, especially with women, always, you know, like you say, he wants to be the man, so he's trying to get more recognition. But this is behind the scenes, because it's not going a sanction, or he's not going to brass, because still Skip at the time has to answer to somebody. So anyhow, my situation, when they were going to take me for the ride, so that's why I brought this up. So Chuco tells me, hey, let's go over here to see, you know, go see Lucky, like where he lives and all that, and because we want to make a move on him. And I'm thinking to myself, man, well, I don't think this is right, you know, because there's been other situations also that they want me to do about Dancing Bear, and it's always something. And there goes Skip again, behind the scenes, not disliking and trying to do undermining stuff. So anyhow, so we go and check a guy's home.
So at this point, there's no suspicion in your mind that anything is going to happen with you.
Well, there's red flags, but I didn't really think, because I'm thinking in my mind, I'm in good standings.
Right.
There's everything's good with me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
There's little situations, but I'm like, I overseen the red flags.
You didn't see him.
Yeah, I didn't, you know, and so, but I felt something, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm like, how far is this gonna go? I mean,
What's going on?
exactly,
really,
you know, I'm feeling something, but it's not there, you know what I mean?
Right.
And anyhow, so when we take a ride, he asked me, hey, you smoke some weed? Now, he knows I smoke weed. When he gave me the weed, and man, I think it was lace, man. So that's when I knew. I was like, what's this dude trying to do? You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm still not sure, because when I smoked it, it's not like it had KJ in it. I don't smoke KJ. I smoke, everybody knows I smoke weed. And so I was like, took it and I just put it down, man. And I remember him asking me, hey, are you gonna, that's it? I go, no, I'm not, you know, I don't want to get high, bro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I used to smoke weed, no problem, I can drive, it's not a big deal. So anyhow, he's telling me, hey, well, let's go to a birthday party. You know, homegirl, you know, his wife at the time, Yvette, and all the homegirls, and he's telling me, hey, we're gonna go over here. So I'm thinking in my mind, again, man, well, he said Meanie doesn't live there. And we pull up somewhere, you know, it's like in the middle of east side, south side, you know.
So he took you to a residence. He told you it was going to be this Meanie person's residence, but that's not where you went.
No, yeah, no, he was telling you exactly. He was telling me that Meanie lived, but it wasn't. It was fake.
Right.
But I'm thinking, oh, maybe, well, you know what? Someone moved or something. I don't know.
Yes.
So again, maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I'm like,
right.
And I don't think I was being hard on myself, or, you know, but I didn't really.
You're in good standings. You're trusting your fellow carnales. You're going along with whatever
I'm functioning. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do.
You have nothing to hide. Mm-hmm. And then
I'm contributing and all that. So anyhow, all of a sudden, he says, hey, Goose is gonna come. And he pulled up. He goes, hold on. He goes, give me a second. So he goes and gets out of the car and tells Chuco's son, but now I roll my window down. And at the same time, I'm gonna get out of the car. Because I'm feeling, but it happened so fast, man. Chuco comes, I'm on the right side, and then Goose comes out of nowhere and just hits me in the head with a pistol, you know, shoots me, he blasts me.
Wow.
Yeah. Boom.
Where about?
In the head, because I was going to get out of the car.
Yes.
And I was to the left, and he was standing up, and he just blasted me right here in the trompa, you know what I mean?
How many times?
Well, one. And then, he went to shoot again, and the gun jammed.
Wow.
And, I hit the console. I'm laid out, you know, I cursed at, you know, I was like, you know,
yeah,
F, you know, and
right.
I was just like, oh my goodness, man. So, mind you, everybody that knew me, I wasn't, you know, into God or anything. It wasn't even in the vocabulary, you know, and
right.
My thoughts, and my whole life passed before me. I'm talking about, I can remember everybody when I was a little kid. I mean, to this day, I could actually have that image of everybody, people that I have forgot about, man. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, when I'm in the console laying there, my life passed before me. I don't realize what's going on yet, but then I get my senses back, and I hear Goose saying, man, it's jammed. So now I'm like, whoa. man, what the hell just happened? This dude just blasted me. And then Chuco's like, nah, man, well, come on, man, get finish it. He goes, it's jam. And Chuco's like, man, so he checked. I played possum, and when I was laying there, Chuco came to touch me and see if I was dead. You know, they thought he hit me. He thought it was a rap. You know, because it's possible you blast someone and it's a rap. You know, it all depends on the situation.
Right.
You've seen it. You know what I mean? They hit MC one time and it was a rap. Same thing in the head.
MC.
Oh, excuse me, Maquillo. Yeah, from Salinas. Yeah. You know, Rico Garcia.
Right.
Anyhow, yeah. Thanks for clarifying that too. So anyhow, all of a sudden when Chuco came to touch me, I don't know. I don't know how I got out, but I was able to grab him, and I got out on the right side, and Chuco was, I mean, like he's seen a ghost, scared to death, man. And he, like, I don't know how I got out on the other side. I really don't, and it's mind-boggling. You know what I mean? Do I think about it now? Nah, not really. It's just, sure. I know the answer now. You know, and
sure.
It was God. Yeah. So, when I get out of the car, I was able to push him down and got out and I kicked him.
Yeah. Now you're a big guy.
At the time, yeah, I'm like 200 pounds. Yeah, I'm in good shape, you know. And you know, I was very, you know, arrogant and very about my image. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was able to get out of the car, kick him, and I took off like a bat out of hell. You know what I mean? And I've said this numerous times when I talked about this story, and when I hit that corner, man, I mean, that's the longest block I've ever had to run.
Wow.
And